Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year. I am so excited to be here. I hope that you have had some time to get a little bit of a breather, enjoy some family time, and are ready to hit the road running. I know here at Pixel Financial, we are ready to go. And I'm actually going to start the year off with a series on small business taxes. I'm going to be talking about income and expenses, deductions, can-dos, can't-dos. And today, I'm going to kick that series off, which will go all tax season long with our deadlines, because that's actually pretty important structure to have as you're moving forward, especially since it takes basically the first third of the year. So the first deadline that you need to know about are the 1099 deadlines. I know a lot of small business owners do need to file 1099s. And if you're not sure whether you do or you don't, talk to your CPA or your accountant. General rule is if you are paying somebody who is not an employee on your payroll, then you need to probably file a 1099 if you've paid them more than $599. Now, we don't actually process 1099s out of this office because it's just too crazy to manage for a lot of different reasons. But the big reason is we are pushing really hard in our office to get our clients' books reconciled as quickly as possible so that we have accurate numbers on what the subcontractors have actually been paid. Now, what we usually do in terms of helping our clients get their 1099s done is we refer them to a payroll company, because this is an absolute amazing thing that they are able to do. They are fully capable and functional to go ahead and not only manage what you pay your subcontractors, you can have it directly deposited into their banks, but they can file the 1099s for you at the end of the year as well. So for those of you who've never done that before and are thinking this is a great idea, you can work on this concurrently with getting your books reconciled by reaching out to the payroll company and starting to get your subcontractors and your company set up with them. So once everything's said and done, all you have to do is provide them with the numbers, and it's quick and easy and super efficient. So something worth looking into. Now, the next deadline is for corporate returns, partnership to returns specifically, 1065, and the 1120S for S elections and S corporations, and that is March 15th. And this is something that a lot of people get wrong very, very often, because in their head, they hear April 15th and they feel that think that all tax returns are due on April 15th. Nope. Those particular tax returns, the 1065 and the 1120S, are due on March 15th, primarily because individual returns are due on April 15th, and those tax returns directly affect those individual tax returns. So that's why there's a difference in the deadline, which brings me to the next deadline. Obviously, you just heard me say April 15th, and you know from year to year, it can change a little bit depending on where those dates land on a weekend or a holiday or something that happens. But this year, it is April 15th. So make sure that you're ready to get those taken care of. Now, I know in my office, I generally tell people we have about a 2-week turnaround to get taxes done. Earlier in the season, it's a little bit faster, but then later in the season, when people are bringing their stuff in kind of all at once, it's about a 2-week turnaround. So I actually have deadlines for my clients and when they can bring their work into me or their paperwork into me, and I guarantee that they will meet the deadlines. And for the corporate returns that are due on March 15th, my deadline for those are February 28th. So things that I'm looking for there are that all of our questions are answered in terms of their books, that we have all of the information done, like that everything is put together. So a lot of it is very dependent on making sure that our clients are responding to our questions so we can get things done. And we need that done by February 28th in order for me to guarantee I will have those returns done by March 15th. Now, that doesn't mean I don't try if somebody misses the deadline to get it done in time. I simply don't guarantee it guarantee it at that point. That was a hard thing to say. Then on April 15th, I ask that people who have an April 15th deadline get me their stuff by March 31st. Again, for the same reason, I generally have about a 2-week turnaround. I try to keep it shorter if possible, and I just don't guarantee anything if I have the paperwork after March 31st. It's a great system. It works really well, and it's been very, very efficient and successful for the past few years I've been doing it. So I think that even if your accountant is not giving you a deadline, that's just a good rule of thumb for you, that if if you don't get things in at least a couple of weeks prior to when your deadline is due, you can't really expect for those things to be done on time. So just make sure you're doing your part as well. Now, there are a couple of other deadlines beyond that point, and we all know the extension deadlines. So for those corporate returns that are due on March 15th, their extension is ending on September 15th. And then for the individual taxes and the 1120s, October 15th is the deadline for those. But let's not extend those if we don't have to. I mean, we already had a super long tax season this year. I'd like to keep this one a little bit shorter, which brings me to my next point. At this point in time, I have not heard of any additional extensions that are going to be happening for the 2021 year. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to change. So just keep your mind open. But for now, what I'm saying is let's get these done sooner versus later, just because we don't know what's going to happen. And honestly, last year, I really felt we didn't need those extensions. Like most of my clients were done in plenty of time by the initial deadlines. So, it's kind of one of those things that when they were in quarantine, they were just working really hard to get me the stuff I needed to get their taxes done. But again, the extensions are available if you need them. All right. So next week, I'm actually going to be talking about assignment of income. Now, this is really, really important because sometimes you might receive 1099s for your business in your Social Security number. And what do you do about that? And there are some can do's and can't do's when it comes to that. So make sure you're looking out for that video next week. And we'll see you all soon. I'm so excited for the year. So here's to having a better one. Take care, everybody.